Okay, good evening, everyone. I think for the online, hope my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm in chat once? Um, Fine. Okay, so in last session, which topic we have seen? Git and GitHub we have wrapped up, right? Okay. So in today's session, which topic we are going to discuss? Maven. Okay. So anybody knows about Maven? None of you don't know, na? Don't know. Building. Building tool. Okay. Still, tell it loudly. Project management tool. Okay. Still, our so somebody said build tool, somebody tell project management tool. Correct. Both are correct. But here, the first thing I would like to tell for all of you is today's session is about Maven, right? To understand the concept of Maven, you need to understand how to prepare chicken biryani. Correct. Our today's class is completely depending upon the how to prepare chicken. Tell me one thing, how many of you know preparing chicken biryani? Raise your hands. One. This is the reason why we are having lot of demand for Swiggy and Zomato. Once upon a time, this cadre completely know how to cook the biryani and how to cook the recipes. But see, I'm not seeing any single hand, but only one. Eh? Okay, fine, guys. Here, let me tell you one thing. If you go and check here, tell me the process of like preparing chicken biryani. First of all, what we need to have? We need to have the meat. Correct or not, sir? Kaluptana, you are mixing something like this, huh? Okay. First of all, we are going to have something called as raw meat. Correct or not, sir? So this raw meat we are going to bring and we are going to clean it. After cleaning, what we are going to do? We are going to go for marinate. After marination, what we going to do? We're going to add the ingredients. And finally, after adding the ingredients, what we get at the end of the day? I mean, like ingredient means like rice or like spices, everything. At the end of the day, what we get, sir? We get chicken biryani ready. What do we get here? Chicken biryani. This is the whole process, right? First of all, taking the raw meat. After that, we are gonna clean. After that, we are gonna marinate. And after that, adding the ingredients. And finally, chicken biryani. Tell me one thing. What is the initial product here? Initial product, raw meat. And final product, biryani. Tell me one thing. Without preparing the chicken biryani, can I directly consume raw meat? No, right? Is it possible? No. Why? Because we are humans, so we cannot consume the raw meat. Guys, in companies also, whenever developer give the code, that is what we can call as raw code actually. Which code? Raw code. So just like we can't eat the raw meat, similarly, we can't use the raw code in the real time. Developer will give the code only. But that code, we are going to build it, we are going to test it, we are going to do lot of things about it. Then only finally we are going to do the deployment. So initially developer give the raw code. That code we are going to do compile. After compiling, we are going to test. After testing, we are going to convert into artifact. And finally, then only we are going to do for the deployment. Just like the process of cleaning the raw meat, making it marinate, adding the ingredients, and finally preparing the chicken biryani. In the real time also, developer give the raw code. We need to compile the code. We need to test it. We need to convert into artifact. And then only finally we are going to do the deployment. Here compiling can be called as build actually. What do we call as? Build. Okay. Okay, sir, you said that developer give the raw code. We need to build it. We need to test it. And we need to convert into artifact. If I don't do the building, testing and artifacting process, I cannot able to do the deployment. As a DevOps engineer, what is our main work, sir? To do the, but if I want to do the deployment, I need to create the artifact. But to create the artifact, you need to, and to do the testing, you need to do building. And building, testing, artifacting can be done with the help of raw code. Who will give the raw code? Developer. From where developer will give the raw code? GitHub. Where once developer finish writing the code in the GitHub, we take the code, we build it, we test it, and we're gonna convert into the artifact. So your code we are going to get from the GitHub. Already you know this process, how to get the code from GitHub. But here build, test, and creating the artifact will be taken care by the Maven tool. Which tool? Maven. Okay. And finally, there is a process called deployment. This deployment can be done with lot of tools. We can use Jenkins to do the single node deployment. For multi-node deployment, we can go and use Ansible. If it is microservice, we can go for Kubernetes. We can go for Docker, and we can use Argo CD also. So I'm not speaking about the deployment now. I'm speaking about only building, testing, and creating the artifact. Okay, sir. Now here you are saying that a code we can take from the GitHub, but building, testing, and artifact conversion will be done by the Maven. Here my question is, what is the meaning of artifact? This is the primary question what you need to focus on the entire Maven. So what exactly the meaning of artifact? Artifact is nothing but the final product of the code. Final product of the code. Sir, here chicken biryani is the final product of the raw meat or not, sir? Here also artifact is the final product of our raw code. Once developer give the code, after building and testing, we're gonna convert to the artifact. So that artifact we are gonna deploy on the server. See, if I want to create the artifact, I need to have a build tool. That is what we can call as Maven. So coming to the types of artifacts. Guys, artifacts are categorized into three types. First one will be jar file. Second one will be var file. Third one will be year file. Again, what is the meaning of artifact? Final product of the code. How many types we have? Three. What are those? Jar, var, year. Okay. So if you go and check, the full form of jar is nothing but Java archive. And the var full form is gonna be web archive. And year full form can be enterprise archive. Enterprise archive. Again, tell me the full form of jar file. Java archive. Var file, web archive. And year file, enterprise archive. Okay, sir, fine here. Now here my question is, what is jar file, what is var file, what is year file? You are saying the full form, but what exactly it means? Tell me one thing, in real time, if you want to create any application, how many types of code you need to have? Question is very easy, but again, very difficult. Three codes, huh? What are those? My question is very clear. If you want to create any web application, how many types of codes you need to have? Tell me. Answer is very simple, man. Three codes, huh? No, Adil. It's not three. One code only, yeah? I'm expecting answer, man. Guys, are you seeing Pat Cummins here? Why? Because the people look very calm here. He is the one who can make people calm, okay? Tell me, how many types of codes we need to have to create any application? Two codes. What are those? Correct. Somebody said front-end code and guys, if you want to create any kind of application, you need to have only front-end code and back-end code. Correct answer. See, if you take the var file will have only back-end code, sir. Which code? Back-end code. And if you take var file, this will have both front-end code plus back-end code. Is it clear now? So tell me, jar file is having which code? Back-end code. But var file? Front-end plus backend. So ER file will be the combination of both jar file plus var file. ER file will have both actually. Okay, ER file means like it is very big one actually, but generally in real time we deploy the var files. Most of the cases. Why? Because jar file will be hosting both backend code plus front end code. Again, now, what is artifact here? Tell me. Final product of the code. How many types we have? 3. First one is jar file. Jar means Java archive which have backend code. Second one var. Var means web archive. So here we have front end code plus backend code. Third one year. Year means enterprise archive. Here we have jar file plus. Is it clear now? Now again, how many types of codes we require to create any application? 2 types. What are those? Front end plus. And one more thing, I'm talking about web application. For web application, both are mandatory. Front end plus back end. So in our case, we're gonna work on var files. Why? Because it have both front end code plus back end code. So is the concept clear for all of you till now? Online, can you please confirm, is the concept clear for all of you till now? So Kiran, for the link related issues, like you need to contact with admin only. I'll say to him, okay? I'll intimate to him once. Fine. Great. I'll send this to him, Kiran, like sometime. Okay, I'll intimate to him. Fine. So, okay, like what is artifact? You know what is the types of artifact? Sir, for example, if you want to create the jar file, how can you create the jar file? That is the question actually. Initially, developer will give the raw code, correct or not, sir? For example, if you take Java, what is the extension of Java file? .java, which one? For example, if developer give .java, if I compile it, then it is going to become .class file. Which file? And again, if I combine .class files, then I'm going to get the jar file. Here, what is .java? .java is the initial code. .java is the initial code given by developer. And what is .class file? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of .class file? Intermediate code. Huh? Bytecode. That means if you compile .java, then we are going to get .class. What is the meaning of .class? Means executable file. .class can be called as executable. Executable code. So if you combine group of .class, so then you are going to get .jar. .jar is nothing but group of .class files. Again, no need to be group. Even single .class file also can become jar file actually. No need to group multiple .class, but in some cases we can group multiple .class files. So again, I'm telling you one more time, how to create the jar file means initially developer will give the .java code. .java code is the initial code. After compiling, we are going to get the .class. Here, what is .class? File which is executable, and group of .class can be converted into .jar. Guys, in real time, you cannot deploy .java file. You cannot deploy .class. You can deploy only .jar file. Which file? And this jar file will work on where? Front end or back end? Back end. No, sir, if I want to work my code with front end plus back end, in that case, what I need to deploy? Var file. Which file? Var file will have both back end code plus front end code. Is it clear how to create the jar file? Yes, fine. Again, I'll tell you one more time, third time. So first of all, developers will give .jar. Later compiling, it's going to become .class, and finally we get the jar. So in this .jar file, we are going to have the backend code itself. Fine. So later than here, till now you seen what is artifact. Till now you seen what is the type of artifacts and how to create the artifacts also you have seen. But here now my question is, sir, if I want to create the artifact, what I need to do? I need to build the code. What I need to do? Build. But for to build this code, what you need to use is Maven. Which one? That means till now we haven't spoke about what is Maven, but I said you what Maven can do. Maven can do artifacts. So to explore what is Maven, first of all, Maven, it's a, what is the first line for every tool in DevOps? It's a free and open source. Second one, it's a platform independent. Third one, it is very important tool in the, sir, these three will be common for any of the tool. Okay, why? Because I'm telling this one, basically I'm habituating this. Why? Because suddenly if you go to interview, if you can't remember about any tool, so this is the thing you need to remember about first of all. I mean, it don't work on all cases, but I'm telling you, it is one of the possible way to speak something. Something is better than nothing, right? That's it. Okay, so basically the Maven main purpose is to build. So Maven can be called as, it can called as build tool. Which tool? What is the meaning of build here? This is the main thing you need to understand. Build is nothing but process of adding dependency for the source code. Tell me, what is the meaning of build? Process of adding the dependency for the source code. For example, a simple logic I'll tell you so you can get some clarity about what is the meaning of build. For example, let's take, you have a code. Let's talk about chicken biryani first of all. Okay, why? Because if I compare with chicken biryani, it is going to be very easy for all of you. How many of you like biryani here? Remaining people, you don't like, huh? I can see only 10% in the class who like biryani. Okay. Man, if you don't like biryani, you can't understand Maven. I'm telling you now, if you can't like it, you can't understand it. Now tell me, how many of you like biryani now? Oh, everybody, mostly. Okay. So see here, basically, building is nothing but process of adding dependency for the source code. For example, let's compare this source code with the biryani, and this dependency is nothing but salt. For example, you prepare biryani, but there is no salt. How it tastes like? Tasteless, right? That means completely it is waste. Can we serve that to the users? If we serve them, what will happen? They won't pay the money. Okay. They said they paid no. Same thing will happen. Huh? So here also, basically, for our source code, we have a lot of dependency. For example, there are some inbuilt libraries for every code. I think you know libraries, right? Libraries means predefined code actually. We can call it as. There is some libraries for our source code. If we can't add that library to our source code will not work. Just like if we can't add the salt to the biryani, here also if we can't add the dependency for the source code, then our source code will not work properly. Okay. But the process of adding dependency for the source code is what exactly we can call as build. So Maven main purpose is to build the source code. Fine. So here, what is the meaning of dependency? Sir, dependency can be libraries, or you can call them as modules. Okay, dependency can be here library, or you can call it as modules. Fine. So after that, it is also called as project management tool. It is also called as project management tool. Sir, what is the meaning of project management tool? Means it consists the complete information about the project, and it can create the entire project structure. I am writing here. It can create entire project structure. So for example, you can ask me, sir, what is project structure here? Project structure means the way of defining the files. For example, tell me one thing. Your front end code need to be on one folder. Your back end code need to be on some other folder. What if instead of front end, we have the back end code on the folder 1, and instead of back end, we have front end code on folder 2. Is it gonna work? No. So the one of the other purpose of Maven is to create the right project structure. If you give a single command, that single command can give the entire project structure for the source code itself. And it can manage the dependency also. It can manage dependency of code Already we have written this point here. So I'm excluding this one here. So again, I'm telling here, Maven is a free and open source tool. It is platform independent. Okay. It is called as build tool. What is the meaning of build here? Process of adding dependency for the, just like we add salt to the chicken biryani. And what is the dependency here? Some predefined libraries, some modules will be called as a dependency. So it is called as project management tool. It can create the entire project structure. So is the intro about Maven clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm is the Maven intro clear for all of you or not? Okay, fine. Okay, sir. Now the Maven intro is very clear, but here, before going for the Maven, you need to understand about a file called pom.xml. In the entire Maven concept, the very important file and the primary file we need to focus on is called as pom.xml. What is the name of the file? Pom.xml. What is the pom.xml file? Okay. So POM stand for project object model. POM stand for what? Full form. Project object model. Okay. And XML stand for extensible markup language. So this is the full form of the file. So PYM stand for project object model and XML stand for extensible markup language. Sir, what does this pom.xml will have? See, it consists the entire information about the project. That means our complete information of the project is going to be stored on the pom.xml. If we don't have this file, your project will not work. Okay, I'm writing here. If we don't have this file, our project will not work. Okay, it is the important file for the entire project. See, and one more thing is, sir, who are going to write this file? Guys, this file is going to be given by the developers actually. Who will give this file here? Developers will give this file along with source code. See, once developer pushes the source code to the GitHub, along with the source code, they are going to push the pom.xml. But as a DevOps engineer, even we need to have some idea about pom.xml. Of course, it is written like it is going to be written by developers only. But in future, we need to manage it. Once developer give the code for us now, once developer give the code for us, in that code, they will push the pom.xml also. And once we take the pom.xml, sometimes even we will manage the pom.xml based upon the requirement, not all the time, very few times like that. So is the information about pom.xml clear for all of you know? Tell me what is pom.xml? It consists of the entire project information. If we don't have this file on our project, it will not work. So who is going to give this file? Developers. But if required, even though we are going to modify as per the requirement, but it's not mandatory, but on some occasions, we are going to change it. What is the full form of POM here? Project object model, and XML stand for extensible markup language. And very important note point is here. Guys, remember, for a single project, we have only one pom.xml. If I have one project, I have only one pom.xml. If I have two projects, I need to have two pom.xml. And single pom.xml will not work for multiple projects. It can only fix it for one project. I'm writing this point. Note here. Note. A pom.xml or like this file will be limited to only one project. You cannot share this file to the multiple projects. And even your commands will work on the pom.xml. For example, if you have pom.xml, Maven will execute the commands. If you don't have pom.xml, Maven will not execute the command. That is the reason here. If we don't have this file, our project will not work. That's it. Okay, sir. Now you said about what is pom.xml. That was very clear. But before going to work with Maven, the first thing you need to understand is, sir, Maven is written on which programming language? Java programming. Which one? What is the current version we are using for Maven? 1.8.0. That is Java version. We use Java 1.8.0 for Maven. See, Maven is depending upon Java. The important point you need to understand is Maven is written on Java programming language. Maven is written on Java language. It is written on where, sir? Which programming language? Java language by Apache Software Foundation. Apache Software Foundation. Guys, Apache Software Foundation is a company which can make lot of softwares for the software industry. I'll show you like what are the available softwares for the Apache Foundation. Okay. It is written on Java programming language, and which version of Java we need to use now? 1.8.0. And the home path of Maven is .m2. It is interview question. What is a Maven home path? The answer will be .m2. And what is the main file here? Main file. Just now we discussed. pom.xml. And this Java comes on, Maven comes on which year? 2004. So Git is on 2005 with C programming language. This is on 2004 with Java programming language. So this is the information about the Maven, what you need to understand before going to the practical part. So I'll explain the entire theory one more time. So if anybody missed in the initial session, you can get it as backup now. See, so today's class is, first of all, understanding how to prepare the chicken biryani. So to prepare the chicken biryani, first of all, we need to have the raw meat. We need to clean, we need to marinate, we need to add ingredients. Then finally we get the chicken biryani. What is the initial product here? Raw meat. And what is the final product? Just like developers will give the initial code for us, but at the end of the day, we are going to make it deployment, but it cannot be done directly. Okay. When developer give the code, we need to build it, we need to test it, we need to convert into artifact. So developers will give the code on GitHub. We know, but building, testing and artifact creation can be done with the help of the tool called Maven. So with the help of Maven, we can create the artifact. Here, what is the meaning of artifact here? Artifact is the final product of our code. How many type of artifacts we do have? 3. What are those? Java, like jar file, var file, year file. Jar file means Java archive, which has backend code. Var file means web archive, which have front-end code plus backend code. And year file means enterprise archive, which have jar and var combination. And to create any kind of web application, how many type of codes we need to have? 2 codes. What are those? Front-end plus. Now a question I'll ask you. What is the question you know? In which server you deploy the front-end code? Correct. Which server? And backend code? App server. Correct. So how to create the jar file? See, if I jar file, I need to have .java code. If I compile .java code, then I get the .class. What is .java? It is initial code. What is .class? Executable code. And what is the meaning of jar file? Group of .class files can be called as jar file. So Maven is a free and open source tool which is platform independent. It can be called as build tool. So the meaning of build is nothing but process of adding dependency for the. And what is the dependency here? Dependency can be library or it can be a module. So it is called as project management tool. We can manage the entire project structure with the like build tool. And Maven is written on the Java programming language. It was given by the Apache Software Foundation. So it is written on Java, and currently we are using Java 1.8.0 for the Maven. Okay. And what is the home path of Java? Maven here. And what is the main file? pom.xml. In which year it comes into the market? 2004. And coming to the pom.xml, it consists the entire information about the project. If we don't have pom.xml, our project will not work. So who will give this file? Means developers. But depending upon the requirement, we can change it as per the deployment and release cycles. And coming to the node point, so this pom.xml will be fixed for the only one. Can we use this same pom.xml for multiple projects? No. And can we use multiple pom.xml for single project? No. So coming to this POM stand for project object model and XML stand for extensible markup language. So this is the prerequisite theory what you need to understand about Maven before going for the practical part. So now is a theoretical concept clear for all of you know? Online, can you please go ahead? Can you please confirm is theoretical concept clear for all of you or not? If it is clear, we can go and see the practical stuff. Okay, fine. Clear, sir, but this is only for Java programming language, right? No, you can use Python also. For Python also, we can go with Maven, but for Python, the better compatibility build tool will be Gradle. Okay, I'll explain this later for you, Vikram. Fine. So now coming to the practical part, guys, first of all, go and create an EC2 instance. So I'm going to name it as Maven. So take Amazon Linux too. Again, I'm telling, so in our class for the entire course, you need to select Amazon Linux too. Why? Because some scripts, what I'm teaching you will be not working on the Amazon Linux 2023. So please use Amazon Linux to itself. So T2 macro will be fine. Key pair, one regular key pair is fine. Go and give all traffic. There you go. But basically, like your batch is very craziest batch. Why? Because when I ask how many of you like chicken biryani, I get only 30% of request. I don't know why. Really, you don't like chicken biryani, yeah? Don't like. Hmm. What about you boys? You like very much, huh? Hmm. Then one day take all of us to the mandi, huh? Habiba mandi is very famous, huh? Huh? On your birthday, huh? Where is your birthday? I think it's gone. Or it might be April 20, it might be February 29th. Huh? I know you are saying of this much confidence, na? So that's what I'm saying, man. February 29th. Huh? CD desktop slash keypair. Okay. So coming to the practical part here. So guys, I'm going to explain it very, very clear for all of you. So please see here in the practical session. So basically here you need to go and create the EC2 instance. Already you have done this one. Correct or not, sir? The next thing is here I'm going to install three things here. First of all, Git I'm installing. What I'm installing? Why? Because I want to get the source code. Without getting source code, how can I build and test? So let me show you where is my source code. So in the GitHub repository, if you go to DevOps by Raham, that is the account of mine for our projects. There is a repository called Jenkins Java project. Of course, same repository you can see on the Raham Sheikh 007 account also. So here you have seen the source code and pom.xml. Are you seeing source and pom.xml here? This code will be given by developer. So if I want to get this code to my local, which concept I need to use? Which command? Clone, correct. So if I want to use git clone, I need to install git. So first of all, here I'm installing the git here. So yum install git. And if I want to build it, which tool I want to install? Maven. But for Maven, what is the dependency, sir? Java 1.8.0 hyphen OpenJDK. So if you want to install Java 1.8.0, this is the package name. So with the help of yum git package, I'm installing Java package. As similarly, I'm installing here. Wait, server got disconnected. So here you can see these commands parallelly. So Git is to download the code. Java 1.8.0 is the dependency for Maven, and Maven is to build, test, and create the artifact. And tree is to give the structure for the code. Basically, tree command will give the structure for our source code. Let me show you like how it will work for you. So I'll execute this command on the server now. So go to your server, sudo -i. So if I execute this one, now automatically I can install Git to get the code. Java 1.8.0 is a dependency for Maven, and Maven is to build, test, and create the artifactory. And tree is the command to show the structure of the files and folders. I'll show you how to run this tree command. Now all of these commands will work here. Guys, remember, you need to download Java 1.8.0 only. But sometimes, due to giving the wrong command, you can get Java 17 or Java 11. If you get Java 17 or 11, it is not going to work for you. Currently, which version of Java I'm getting now? So I'll be safe now. To make sure this one, give the command Maven version. So mvn-v. Basically, what is the command to check the Git version? Git-v. Or you can use git-version. To check the Maven version, put Maven-v. So my Maven is 3.0.5 and the Java version is 1.8.0. Correct. And even if you want to check tree also, you can get the tree version. So currently I don't have any folders. It is not showing. Sir, step number 1 is done to create the server. Step number 2 is to install the packages. Now step number 3 is to get the code from the repository. So give this command to get the code from GitHub to your local. Give the command git clone repository URL. Oh, wait, I have given git clone 2 times. If I give this one, automatically I'll be getting the repository. Now guys, I'll go to the folder cd Jenkins Java project. If I give LL, are you seeing the source folder here? Sir, inside source folder, if I give LL src, how many folders I'm having? 2. One is main, second one is. Now again inside main, there will be some other files. Inside test, there will be some other files. If I don't want to see like that, give the command tree. If you give this command, is it gonna show the folders and subfolders or not, sir? The purpose of installing tree is to see the files and folders in the structured format. If you don't install tree command, you need to put LL for a lot of times. But here by using the simple tree command, I can get the entire structure for my folders and files. So it is my step number 3. Okay. Step number 3 is to get the repository and step number 4 is to go to the repository. Again, first of all, create an instance. Second, install Git, Java, Maven and tree packages. Step number 3, download the repositories. And step number 4, go to the repository. Sir, once if you go to the repository, you can see a file called pom.xml. Are you able to see it? Sir, what do we have inside the pom.xml? Inside the pom.xml, we have name of the group here. We have the application name. We have the application type. It is var file. Which file? And coming to the version, what is the application version? 1.2.2. And you can see here Java home my web is the name of the repo here. And you can see for testing which kind of tool we are using. And for artifactory, which type of tool we are using. Everything is mentioned here. So this complete file will consist of the project information. Okay, sir. Now you are saying that you have the source code. Inside the source code, okay, I'll be having the file called .java file. Which file? Now tell me one thing. Once developer give me the file called .java file, what I need to do here? I need to compile. After compiling, then only I can get the, if I get .class, what I can build here? .jar. So this is what exactly you are going to do now. So let me give this practical part to your notes. These some different notes now. See, in the practical part, if you can go and see, if before executing the work here, you need to understand Maven lifecycle. What we need to understand? Sir, with the help of Maven, what we're gonna do now? We are gonna build it, we are gonna test, we're gonna artifact. But if you wanna do them, you need to execute the command. That command is what we can call as goal here. What do we call as? Here I'm telling this one. See, Goal is nothing but it's a command used to run a task. That means if I want to build it, I need to give a goal. If I want to test it, I need to give a goal. Similarly, if I want to create the artifact, then also again I need to give a goal. So goal refer to the pom.xml to execute. That means if I give a goal, this goal will take the reference of pom.xml to execute. If there is pom.xml, then only this goal will execute. Or otherwise, if there is no pom.xml, this will not work. Currently in our folder, do we have pom.xml here? Do we have pom.xml or not? Now tell me, if I run a goal, will it execute or not? Yes, correct. Okay, sir. Now let's go and execute the goal. But before going to execute the goal, you need to understand something called as plugin. What we need to understand? Plugin is nothing but it's a small software which make our work automated. That means instead of downloading the tools, we can use the plugins. This plugin will download locally to the automatically when we run the goal. Again, I'll explain one more time. Plugin is nothing but a small software which automate our work. So instead of downloading a tool, we can download the plugin. This plugin will download automatically when we run the goal. To make this very clear for all of you, I'll ask you a question. For example, all of your batch planned to go for a picnic, of course, which is never going to happen. But here, if you want to go for a picnic, you have two options. Option number one means you are 30 people. So all of you want to go to the picnic. Now, option number one is go to the Mahindra showroom and buy a big AC bus. Option number one. Option number two will be go to the travels and book a bus for 40 members. Which one you gonna do? Second option. Why not first option? It's very expensive and very foolish thing also, correct? You agreed. Fine. Okay. So basically here for 40 people, we want to go to picnic. Okay. If I go and buy that bus, that is going to be very, very expensive. Correct or not, sir? Here also, if I want to download a tool, I need to consume my space and I need to install it, which is going to be very, very taking time. See, if I want to download the tool now, first of all, it will take some time to download the tool. Second one, is it going to take my laptop space or not, sir? That is the reason instead of downloading the tools, I am downloading the plugin. Whatever my tools will do, plugin will do the same thing. If you go to Mahindra showroom and buy a bus, or if you go to travel and if you book a bus, both will be taken to your destination or not, sir? Here also, even though if you use a tool or even though if you use a plugin, both will do the same work. But instead of downloading them, we can download the plugin. And this plugin will automatically download whenever I run the goal. For example, I want to compile the code. If I run mvn compile, automatically compiler plugin will done. It will download. Now, if I want to test my application, instead of downloading the testing tool, my testing plugin will download whenever I run mvn test command. So if I want to convert the code into Artifactory, instead of downloading the separate tool to create artifact, if I run mvn package, the Artifactory plugins will download. That means simply here tools we are going to replace with the plugins, but both this tool and plugin will do the same work. So is the concept clear for all of you know? Fine. So again, I'll explain here one more time. So coming to the Maven lifecycle, here first of all, you need to understand the meaning of goal. What is the meaning of goal here? It's a command used to run a task. So goal refer to the pom.xml to execute. So here, if you want to execute the goal, you need to have the plugin. What is a plugin? It's a small software which make our work automated. So instead of downloading the tools, we can download the plugin, and this plugin will download automatically when we run the goals. Correct. So now coming to the Maven lifecycle, sir, if you want to create an artifact, there is a step-by-step process. First of all, you need to compile the code, then you need to test the code, then you need to pack it, then you need to install, and finally clean. This is the optional one. Okay. So these first four are going to be very, very important. Let me explain these first four, and last two I'll explain later. What is the first one here we're going to do? To compile the code, which goal we are going to execute? mvn compile. So if I go here and give the command called tree, before going for tree, let me give LL. Sir, currently how many folders I'm having in my current working directory? Only one folder. How many folders? But if I give the command mvn compile, what will happen? Before executing, I'm telling you this one. In my source folder, I have Java file. Which file? But if I use mvn compile command, in my target folder, I'll create a new file called dot class. If you can go and see. In your source folder, are you seeing .java? This file will compile and it is gonna create the new file called dot class file. But on which folder? Target. Currently, as of now, I don't have any target folder. But if I give this command, it will download the plugins first of all. It will take the help of pom.xml and download the plugins. Are the plugins downloading now? So now you can go and check your build got success. If I give LL now, are you seeing target folder? And give the tree command to list the subfolders. Inside the target folder, are you seeing calculator.class here? What is the calculator.class doing here? After compiling, this is what we get as output. Sir, how I can get the output means by using the command called mvn compile. Again, tell me what is the purpose of mvn compile? To compile the code. So initially we have .java in the source folder. After compiling, we get .class in the target. It is the first goal. Coming to the second goal, we are gonna use the testing here. So mvn test. So this is to do the unit testing for the application. Which testing? Guys, coming to the testing, there are a lot of testings in the real time. Here we are doing unit testing only. But in real time, we have functional testing, non-functional testing. Again, in functional, we have a lot of sub-classifications. Again, in non-functional, we have again a lot of sub-classifications. But here, the testing we are going to do is unit testing. Which testing? So if I use mvn test, it is going to test my application. But in my test folder, again, I have .java. But after running the mvn test command, in my target folder, I'll get .class. Let me show you. In your test folder, are you having .java here? But if I use mvn test, in my target folder, there is one more .class file is going to happen. Currently, how many .class files you are having? But if I hit this one, again, I'll be getting one more .class. Again, what is the meaning of .class? Executable file. .class file will come from the .java file only. You can see is the build success or not, sir? How much time we took in here? 5.9 seconds. Okay. So if I give the command called tree now see in the target folder, how many .class files you are having? But initially you have only one. So it is the goal number 2. Goal number 1 is mvn compile. Goal number 2 is mvn. Now, as per the first part of the class, what I said, we gonna build the code. We gonna building means compiling. Testing means to test the unit testing. And finally, we are going to create the sir. If you want to create the artifact, okay, you can give the command called mvn package. That's it. If you give the mvn package, automatically the artifact will come. If I hit enter, I'll get the artifact called Netflix var file. Which file? Let me show you here. You can see here, you are building a var file. What you are building? In the root Jenkins Java project, inside the target folder, now you are having the Netflix var file. If I give tree command again, are you seeing the Netflix var file? This var file will have both backend code plus front end. Now, this is the code what we are going to deploy on the server. Is it clear for you? That's it. So, to compile to build the code, mvn compile. To test the code, mvn test. To get the artifact, mvn package. Are the first 3 goals clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm me? Are the first 3 goals clear for all of you or not? Okay, sir. Now You said that after building, testing, and packaging, you got the artifact. Now, can we deploy this application in the server directly? We can deploy the application, but before deploying the application, you need to make sure that you have the backup of the artifactory. For example, currently, where is the var file? Var file is in my project folder. Correct or not, sir? What if I lost my in the project folder? What will happen? Do I need to have backup or not, sir? Okay. To provide the backup for our artifact, we are going to copy the artifact to the which folder? .m2 we can call it as. What is .m2 here? It is the Maven home path. Which one? That means whatever the artifactory we are having in the project folder, that we need to copy to the Maven home path. Why? Because if I lost my artifactory in the project folder, so it will be having the backup on .m2 folder. So to copy the artifact from project folder to Maven home path, we need to use the command mvn install. That's it. Wait, guys, again it got disconnected. Adil Rashid, you want me to explain first one? So first one is nothing but compiling the code. If you compile the code, then you are going to get the .class file. Initially, developer give Java extension. If you compile the code, that .java extension is going to become the .class. What is the meaning of .class? Files which are executable. Hope it is clear for you know. Let me go and give the command sudo -a. And what is the command we need to copy the var file from local path to Maven home path? Mvn install. But if I give this command, it is gonna fail. What happened here? Build failed. Can anyone tell me what is the reason of failing this build? Read the error there. You can get the answer. Already I said this point in the session. I'm not in. That means currently, wherever you are executing the goal, in that goal, there is no pom.xml. Do I have pom.xml here? No. If I go to this particular directly, in this particular folder only, I have the pom.xml. Now, if I give the same command, this command will work now. Is it working here? So already I said this point previously. What I said in the session here, if you can go and see where it is, yeah, here. So if we don't have this file on our project, it will not work. That's it. So now if we can go and see installing in root Jenkins Java project folder, inside target we have Netflix var file. So this var file I'm copying to root.m2 repository in Raham 1.2.2 Netflix var file. That means whatever the var file you are having in this location, I'm copying to the .m2 folder. Which folder? Let's go and check. I'll give ll/root. Inside root I have .m2. Later repository. Later in Raham Netflix 1.2.2. If I hit enter, are you seeing var file copy to here? So even though if I delete my var file here, I have backup on that folder. Okay, that is the reason why we need to use mvn install. Even though before using mvn install, you can deploy the application, but we need to make sure we have the backup. Why? Because if we don't have backup, how can we roll back? If we can't roll back, you know what will happen, right? That's it. So this is the project structure what we're gonna follow. First of all, mvn compile, mvn test, mvn package, and mvn install. Mvn compile, do the compiling of the code. Mvn test, do the testing of the code. Mvn package, do the artifactory, and mvn install. Use it to copy the artifactory from project folder to M2. For example, if you want to delete the artifactory, you can use the command called mvn clean. Which one? So if I give ll, I have the target folder. But if I use mvn clean, that is going to remove my target folder. If I hit enter, are you seeing target folder here? No. Why? Because the clean goal will remove the target section. Is it clear for all of you? That's it. So these are the comments or goals what we need to execute in the Maven. Can we practice these goals one more time? But this time you tell me. Okay, I'll ask you the question, you tell me the goal. So in Maven, after taking the code, what is the first step we're gonna do? Compile. What is the goal to compile? MVN compile. If I compile, what is the other folder we get apart from SRC? Target, correct. MVN compile. If I run this command, I get the target. And one more thing, already plugins are downloaded. So second time it won't download. First time it can take a lot of time to download the plugins. But once plugins are downloaded, it won't take much time to execute. So after compiling, you can see the target folder. If I give the tree command, are you seeing dot class file here? So after compiling, you are going to do the test. What is the goal we need to use? MVN test. So again, the plugins are downloaded, so it can execute very speedily. Previously for testing, it took 5.9 seconds, but now it took only. Why? Because the plugins are already in my local. First time it is not on my local laptop, but second time it's already in my local laptop, so it can execute very speedily. What is the goal number 3 here? MVN package. Why you need to use package? To create the artifactory. MVN package. So again, artifactory will be storing on which folder? Huh? Target. Which folder? If I use LL target, are you seeing like var file here? And I want to copy this artifactory from target folder to Maven home path. What is Maven home path? Which command we can use? MVN install. So after MVN install, the artifactory will be copied from project home path to the .m2. And finally, MVN clean. So this is going to remove the target folder. Sir, for example, if I remove my artifactory in my project folder, do I have var file in the backup of M2? Are you seeing the var file? I ran MVN clean command, but still in this folder, are you seeing the 1.2.0 var file here? That is the purpose I ask you to store it there. Okay, that's it. And the main point you need to understand is Maven has a life cycle. Maven has what? What is the meaning of life cycle? You know, if you don't do compile, if you don't do testing, if I give package, compiling and testing will work. Or if I don't do compile, if I don't do test, if I don't do package, if I use install, automatically compile test package will perform. If you want me to show, give the command MVN. Now building testing package will done automatically. That is what we can call as life cycle. What do we call as? Testing performing or not, sir? And you can see this var file is copying to the M2. If var file is copying to .m2 folder, that means which goal is executing? If var file is copying from project home folder to .m2 folder, which command is executing? MVN install. So, but before MVN install, MVN package done, test done, and MVN compile done. Is it clear for all of you? So finally, if I want to remove, what is the command? MVN clean. Now you can ask me, sir, instead of running MVN compile, MVN test, MVN package, can we directly run MVN install? Of course you can run. Instead of running compile testing separately, directly you can run the command called MVN install. Why? Because that will take 4 commands to run. But if I run this MVN install, single command will do the 4 activities or not, sir? In real time, we run that command only. Now you can ask me, sir, why you said this many commands? For your clarity. Okay. You can run MVN install, but the remaining commands, whatever I said you, that is going to give the project structure, how this project is going to execute. In real time, we can use one more command called MVN clean package. Which one? MVN clean package means from compiling to install, it can do everything. So basically, for example, see, if I have the old var file, which one? Old var file. If I run MVN clean package, it will delete the old var file and create the new var file. Okay. So let me give it. I'm going to give it MVN clean package. So if you can go and see, I don't have any target folder here. I'm giving MVN clean package. So first of all, MVN clean will delete the old WAR file and package will do the compiling, testing, artifactory, everything. Let me show you. Is it done or not, sir? That's it. So in real time, we can use that command. And you can ask me, sir, but there is no install. If there is no install, how will the artifact will go to .m2 folder? MVN clean package means from compiling to package you can do. But what about MVN install? If we don't have MVN install, where do we store the backup of artifactory? Is it logic point or not? For that purpose, in real time, we use separate tool called Nexus. Which tool? Sir, in real time, we don't store artifacts on .m2 folder. Why? Because if you store on .m2 folder, you need to face a lot of consequences. That is the reason we create a separate server to store the backup of artifacts. And that server is called as Nexus. Which one? Which you are going to see in upcoming session. Okay. So now tell me, instead of running these 5 commands, can we run this last single command? What is the last command here, MVN? That means it is going to delete the previous WAR files and create the new WAR file. That's it. So is the concept of Maven lifecycle clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm me, is the Maven lifecycle clear for all of you or not? Of course, Swati, you can use JFrog or you can use Nexus. Both will do the same thing. Plugins will download automatically. Because the configuration is already done on pom.xml. So pom.xml will take care of plugin downloading. And one more thing, guys. Basically, there is one more tool called JFrog, which is alternative for the Nexus. If you install Nexus or if you install JFrog, both can do the same purpose. Of course, in our course, I'm going to show you both. But primarily, we will focus on the Nexus. I will show you installation of Nexus, configuring the Nexus server to the Jenkins pipeline, storing the artifact, reverting the artifact, everything we can discuss. Hope it is clear for you, Swati. Okay, sir. Now you said about the life cycle. That was very fine. So is our Maven complete? Means of course our Maven is completed, but you need to understand some major points about this one. That is, first of all, problems without Maven, sir. If you don't have Maven, what are the consequences and what are the problems we are going to have? Means, first of all, we can't create the artifacts. We can't create the, what is the artifact here? It is a final product. That artifact we are going to deploy on the server. If we don't create the artifact, then how can we deploy the application in the server? Point number 1. Point number 2 will be, it can't create the project structure. Sir, here already developers given the project structure. You can go and see in the source, you have the project structure. Let me give. Are you seeing the structure of your project now? This already given by developer. But for example, if you want to create your own project structure, I'll tell you a comment that is MVN archetype generate. If you give this command, it is going to create one project structure. MVN archetype generate. Of course, if developers don't give the structure, we can give our own structure by using the command called MVN archetype generate. So I'm going for one here. So I'll just show you, like, group ID is Raham, artifact is ABCD, and version I'm leaving it, package name I'm leaving it, hit enter. Why? So if I go and check here, if I go and see, are you having ABCD folder here? If developer don't give the project structure, we can create our structure like this by using the command called MVN archetype generate. That is the second issue. And third one will be, we can't build and deploy the application. Sir, if we can't create the artifact, how can we deploy the applications? So these are the 3 problems without Maven. So without Maven, we can't create artifacts, we can't create project structure, and we can't build and deploy the application. But in real time, apart from the Maven, do we have any other alternative tools? Of course, if you don't use Maven, we can use Apache Ant, and we can use Gradle. So this will be the alternative for your Maven. Of course, for Git, you know the alternatives. What are the alternatives for Git? SVN is the alternative. And like we have CVS and RCS. And what is the alternative of GitHub? Bitbucket, GitLab. This will be the alternative for the GitHub. Of course, you have a lot of alternatives. I am telling only few. But for Maven, the alternative will be Ant and Gradle. So in interview, they are going to ask you a question. What is the primary difference between Apache Ant versus Apache Maven? One more thing, guys. Both this tool called Ant and Maven is given by same company. That is Apache Software Foundation. Which one? So basically, Maven is a build tool and project management tool. But whereas this Ant is only a build tool. Maven has form.xml, which you know, but Ant will have build.xml. Maven has lifecycle, but Ant will not have the lifecycle. In Maven, we have the plugins which are reusable, but in Ant, we have the scripts which are not reusable. Maven is declarative and Ant is procedural. That means we need to tell the process for the Ant, but in Maven, we don't tell the process. It can do the entire things. Again, I'll explain one more time for you. Maven is a build and project management, but Ant is only a build tool. In Maven, which file we have? Form.xml, but Ant will have build.xml. Maven has a life cycle, but Ant will not have the life cycle. In Maven, plugs are reusable. Plugins are reusable, but in Ant, we have the scripts which are not reusable. And Maven is a declarative one, but Ant is a procedural. So is the differences clear for all of you know? In interview, you can tell any of the three differences. No need to tell all the five. Any three will be fine. Sorry, build.xml is just like a file which is similar to pom.xml. How we are using pom.xml here? In Ant, we have the build.xml file like that. And one more thing you need to understand is, sir, for different programming language, we have the different build tools. For example, for Java, we can use Maven. For Python, we can use Gradle. If your project is .NET, we can use VS Code. For C and C++ on the C#, we can use Makefile. But if your project is Node.js, we can use. So depending upon the programming language, your build tools will change. Currently here we are using Java. So Maven is best one. But if we go for Python, we can use. Of course, here one more point. Maven we can use both for Java and Python. And Gradle also we can use both for Java and Python. But the best one for Java is Maven and best one for Python will be Gradle only. I'm talking about the best. But again, it can work for both of them. But if it is .NET, we can use what here? VS Code. If it is C or C++ or C, like C#, we can use Makefile. But it is Node. What we can use? NPM. NPM stand for Node Package Manager. That's it. Is it clear for all of you know? And alternative, you know, so Ant and Gradle, we can both use for the Java projects. But again, I'll tell you one thing, guys. In real time, mostly if you can go, we cannot use single programming for entire project. There are some projects where we can use both Java code and Python code. If you ask me, like I'm not talking about all the companies, I'm sharing about my experience. In our organization, we use both Java code and Python code for the single project itself. Java will be the entire framework for our project and Python will be used for some sort of services. It is not like that we can use only Java for programming and not only Python for programming. It's not like that. Sometimes we have the combination of different programming languages. For example, let's take any of the application in real time. You know Netflix, right? Netflix is not built on single programming language. I'll show you. Netflix programming languages. If you can go and see, you can see which programming language does Netflix use. Netflix is the Python in the major of the task, not completely in major task. Okay. But here we can also use some other programming called here Java and Scala for implementing the backend. So please make sure this one for a single project, it is not like that we use only single programming. There can be multiple programming language for different services. Is the point clear for all of you know? That's it. So this is the concept of the Maven. So now let's go for the interview question and then come back to the doubts and queries part. So coming to the interview question, first of all, what is Maven? It's a build tool and project management tool. What is the meaning of build? What is the meaning of build? Process of adding the dependency for the source code. What are the types of artifacts, sir? Three. What are those? Jar, var, here. Jar has which code? Jar has Java code. Okay. I don't know basically. Which code we have? Backend. Where while? Front end plus backend. Okay, I'll ask you a question scenario based. Listen to the scenario. Why? Because scenarios are very, very important. So if you go for interview, they'll ask a question like this. One of the application called XYZ is there. In that application called XYZ, so one of the backend functionality is not working. So in this case, which artifact you are going to deploy? Where is the wrong answer? I asked backend service is not working. Which service is not working? For backend service, which code you need to deploy? This is the scenario based questions. If you learn the like a concept, that is not enough in these days. Definitely you need to understand the scenarios. And now I'll ask you one more scenario. For example, in the application called XYZ, the developers introduce the new services and new features in the user interface. Now, which file you gonna deploy? Where? How can I tell it is where? Because it is clearly mentioned that we have the new features on the UI. That means in the screen we have the new features. In the screen, if we have new features, means we need to change the front end code. Front end code can be deployed by using which file? Is the logic clear now? So listen to the question, understand the question, then only give the answer. Okay. So these type of scenario based questions also we are going to discuss on our sessions. Fine. Next one, pom.xml. What is pom.xml? It's a project object model which has the complete information about the project. And what is the main point about pom.xml? We have one pom.xml per one folder. And what is Maven home path, sir? .m2. Don't say m2. It is .m2. Okay. And what is Maven lifecycle? Can anyone tell me the goals of Maven lifecycle? First of all, MVN, compile. Next, test. Next, artifact. I mean like package. MVN install. Finally, MVN clean. Correct. What is a goal and how it will work? Goal is nothing but a command used to perform the task in Maven. And these goals will refer the pom.xml. If we have pom.xml, goals will work. Or if you don't have pom.xml, are the goals going to work for you? Already I shown you one practical part also. If you go to here, in this folder, do you have pom.xml? No. If I use mvn compile, I'm gonna get the error here. What is the error here? Build failure. If you get the goal you specified required a project executable, but there is no pom.xml, means you need to check pom.xml is there or not. And again, these troubleshooting techniques also, I am gonna give on the notes. Actually, there is a separate notes for our troubleshooting techniques. If you go to here, in this troubleshooting notes, if you can go ahead and see Maven issue. Error, what is the error? The goal you specified requires a project to execute. That means if you get this kind of goal, I mean like if you get this kind of issue, what is the solution? Check the pom.xml. Like this, for what kind of issue, which kind of solution we need to apply. Like this, I'm gonna give the troubleshooting notes also. Why? Because this will help you on your real-time issues and real-time scenarios. That's it. And again, we have issue number 2 also in Maven, which we are going to discuss on tomorrow's session. But I'll tell you now. For example, if you get the error like source option 5 is no longer supported, this definitely you will get, one of you, definitely damn sure. If you get this issue, how to resolve means, first of all, remove the Java and Maven completely and install them one more time. This is the solution for every issue. Definitely you are going to get this issue. So please make sure if source option 5 is no longer supported, use 7 means you are going to remove Java and you are going to install Java and Maven one more time. That's it. So now this is the concept for today's session. Now, before going for doubts and queries, first of all, how's the class of Maven for all of you? Is it clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me how's the session for all of you today? Can you please confirm me in chat box? Okay, it was clear and great. Fine. So guys, like this, daily after the session is done, first of all, our priority will be interview questions. From interview question, we'll come to the troubleshoots. And finally, we go to the doubts and queries part. Fine. Sir, I want to join on your morning batch. Could you tell me when you start morning batch? So even I don't know when it is going to start, but once it starts, I'll let you know. Mostly it will be by end of this month. I'm not sure, but by end of this month or 20th of this month, you will get the new batch update. Like, Nana, I'm not sure about your name. Fine. Okay. So guys, now online, if you are having any queries over today's session, please raise your hand. I'm gonna give unmute option for one by one. And offline, any queries from your end? Queries, questions, anything to ask? Yeah. You can install. But if you install one by one, you are going to write the comments multiple times. It is gonna take a lot of time for you. Okay, that is the reason I install them together. But again, if you want to install, you can install. Okay, fine. Sir, can we have more scenario based questions? Of course, Akhil. Guys, I am telling you, already we discussed this point. Git and Maven will be the developer point of tools. But our DevOps engineers start from the Jenkins point. That means from tomorrow, we are going to go for the Jenkins concept. Till now, you required the prerequisite of Jenkins. We learned. But your real DevOps work will start from when we start the Jenkins session. You are going to have a lot of troubleshooting techniques. Okay. Hope it is clear for you. Yep. If it is HTML, CSS, and JS, it is front end code. If it is Java code or Python, that is called as day 2 session. Are you in day 2 class? If you listen to the class, you'll get some clarity. Okay. I will recommend you to go to the day 2 of recording section in the demos. Fine. Yep. Definitely in my company, we use Maven only. Who said Maven doesn't create artifact? I said that problems without Maven. If we don't have Maven, it cannot create artifact. See, what is var file here? Isn't it artifact? If you go and check here in the server, let me show you. Here you can see in the server. I think it got disconnected. Wait. Let me go up. So if you can go and check. Here, are you seeing the var file? What is var file? Artifact only. So that is created by Maven only. Okay. I said you problems without Maven. That means without Maven, we cannot create the artifact. Can you know the morning batch time again, Swati? Like I said, like I'm not sure about it, but we will intimate you soon. Okay. Mostly by this month 20th, we'll be getting the batch. But I'll check with the admin team and I'll let you know. Okay. So next, can we get the Google Classroom access? So Kirana, please send the details of your fee as well as your registration form. So admin will send a form. If you fill that form, automatically they will give Google, like Google Classroom access. So guys, remember the people whoever fill the Google Classroom access, I mean, like we'll be giving a sheet for you. If you enter your mail, from that sheet only we are going to give the Google Classroom access. Okay, so please, please make sure that you have filled the form. So and like a online like virtual lab link we are going to provide in the Google Classroom itself. So by the by today's end, I'm going to give the virtual lab link for all of you. So you can take that virtual lab and access through the lab itself. Okay. So guys, if you want to take the virtual lab session, you need to book a slot. For example, if you want to take mentor help from today morning like 10:30, you need to book a slot first of all. Okay. So please make sure that you are booking the slot for the virtual labs. So Suvin, if you want to get the course curriculum, please ping to the admin again. So he's gonna send it there in the chat box, or like, let me give it for you. So guys, I'm gonna send the course curriculum for you. So please open your chat box. So here you can get it. So in the chat box now you can see like the course curriculum I have sent it. And after completing the course, we will join your company. It's a great experience to work under you. Basically, if we have any openings, definitely I'll share with you. The planning. Fine. Okay, I'll give unmute option for you, Kiran. Wait. So first of all, here we have Shivani. Shivani, you can go ahead, and Kiran, I'll give unmute option for you. Wait.
Hi. Here
Wait,
in
Shivani, give me a second. I'm not able to hear you.
Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes. In this course, Docker and Kubernetes and Terraform, it will be beginner level or?
No, it will be advanced level, Shivani. By the end of the course, I'm telling you, even if you want to attempt the certification exam of Terraform, you can attempt it. I'm gonna guide you the complete Terraform models. Okay. Even on certification level, I'm gonna teach you.
Actually, I have 15 years of experience.
Okay.
So I already knows all this, but I want to be advanced and level course.
Yeah,
This
got it. So I'm telling you know, definitely will be reaching the advanced level. Okay. So even though if you compare our syllabus, I'm talking about Terraform especially. What are the certification concepts you require to learn? So the same concepts I have dumped to our course curriculum. Don't worry, Terraform will be going for very, very advanced level, even Docker and Kubernetes also.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shivan. Okay. Okay. So next here, Kiran, I'm going to give one more option for you. So Kiran Kumar Rajan, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Kiran.
Sir, actually, my question is something. Just want to ask you about the AWS instance services. Where,
Okay,
sir,
please go ahead.
can you give a suggestion or something alert that how instead of losing the money with an unknown because
Definitely,
we are
here
not.
we gonna set up the multi-factor authentication. I'm gonna set the like alarm budget also. Basically, in your AWS account, there is a session to set the alarms. For example, if your budget is exceeding more than 50%,
Yes.
we can get an alarm.
Yes.
I'll guide you how to do it. Okay.
Okay, sir. So one more thing is, as you said, the filling forms and everything. I'm an online and out of country.
Okay.
So last like couple of times, maybe like 7 times or 8 times, Praveen asked me about the details. I forwarded him again. Till so speaking frankly, I didn't even understanding like how to install or set up my laptop because I'm following your previous sessions also,
Kiran, I
but
lost your voice, Kiran.
somewhere I'm missing it. So for that
Okay.
reason, I want to take a mentor's help so I can run everything in order. Then I can go each and every command, like creating the folders, directories.
Definitely.
And
So you are having everything in the Google Classroom, right? So for your assistance, we're gonna provide the mentor. So first of all, you need to like register for the virtual lab. So the link I'm gonna send it today after session. Okay. Please check your
okay,
Google
sir.
Classroom.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry,
Yeah.
sir.
Please check your Google Classroom after half an hour. Okay, I'm gonna send the link.
Sir, Google Class also, Praveen sir, I asked Praveen sir from that one saying, I'm not getting anything, sir. Even he asked me to pay the full amount. So yesterday also I remained the amount, full amount. So now,
Is the like
so I
amount
was,
paying done with you, like Kiran? Registration and
sorry,
everything?
everything. So
Registration.
I paid everything. I paid it full amount, sir. With the
Oh.
it's for the my package is something with the videos. So I paid everything and I already forwarded the screenshots, the payment screenshots, my details, everything to Praveen. But I don't know why it's too late. If it is too late like
Basically,
this,
like
sir,
Kiran, like
we
I'll
can't
tell you,
learn, sir.
like what exactly
We can't.
happened. You know, like there are multiple batches that is going to maintain by the admin. So sometimes due to like getting lot of requests from the like WhatsApp, so he might miss it. But I'll intimate you after the session. Okay, definitely I'm gonna call
Okay,
him.
sir. Sir, you told us that the practice is more, but if something gap is coming and we stuck means we need a immediate or someone, so then only we can go ahead. If not, we'll lag. You're gonna
Sure,
teach
definitely.
us
I'll call
something.
Praveen right
Yeah.
after the session. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks, sir. That's all from my side.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, any more questions on your end, online or offline? Okay. So guys, and one more thing I want to tell you is for this Saturday we don't have session. Why? Because like I'm going for my hometown for the birthday. So only for Saturday we don't have the class. And again, Saturday for all of you. Like we have talked in. So that is gonna announce officially in the Saturday mostly. But for this Saturday, you don't have the class. So thank you guys. Thanks for joining today's session. So let's meet up tomorrow's class. It's a Have a great day. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, all.